Hello, I'm Karen Mangiacotti. Welcome to In Bed with Penis Mom. If you want to know why it's called that, you can check the link below and find the origin story. Today, we are going to talk about marriage. Marriages are not working so well. They are, for the most part, broken. Half of all marriages end in divorce. Marriages need an expiration date. I'm only talking about American marriage because that's all I can speak to, but I can certainly speak to that because I'm kind of an expert. I'm not bragging or anything, but I've been married 3 times. This is my first husband. It's actually in my picture from my 3rd wedding, but he gave me away, so it totally makes sense. So this is my first husband. He was gay. It would have been great if that marriage had been able to naturally expire and we didn't have to go through divorce. Then I got married again. This is actually still my first husband, but we hung out during my whole 2nd wedding. Anyway, my 2nd husband, after 5 years, told me that he didn't want to be married to me anymore. I know, right? And then this happened. This is my husband now, for real, and I love him, so I don't think I'm going to let this marriage expire. But here's the thing. Marriage, at its core, is a contract, but a lifelong contract. Who in their right mind would sign a contract for life? The concept is reserved for marriage and selling your soul to the devil. The very premise is flawed. Over the 50 years or so that you expect to be married, you are going to change a lot. It only makes sense that you periodically renegotiate the terms of your agreement. What was right for you at 25 might not be right for you at 60. So why not be clear about expectations? You would never sign a contract with a phone company or an employer that lasted for life. So why would you do that with your most intimate partner? I propose that marital contracts expire after 5 years. Every 5 years, you must enter into thoughtful, clear conversation about what you want the next 5 years to look like. This kind of forces us to think mindfully about how we are in relationship to each other. And if you find some kind of misery there, great time to work on it. Also, if you're up for reselection every 5 years, you are always going to bring your A game. No more letting yourself go and taking each other for granted. I think it will improve the overall state of marriage and humanity. Reevaluation every 5 years makes sense. If you've chosen to have children, they don't stay children forever. So how do you want to be with each other once they've grown up? Our goals, bodies, attitudes, financial status, and sometimes even temperament shift over 5 years. So shouldn't our promises to one another change too? Also, let's back up here. The marriage contract isn't even a real contract. I've discussed more details about expectations with my gas company than most people do before they get married. For the license to be granted and the marriage legal, you don't have to outline any terms. Let's talk about shit before we get married. How about that? Do we want kids? How many? Where will we live? How will we work time? What is really important to us? If we decide to let our marriage expire, what will that look like? How will we divide our lives? If we thought all this out beforehand, separation would be a lot less painful and a lot less common. I know lots of people who have stayed home to raise their kids while their spouses built careers. When those marriages end, the one with no career feels stuck and overwhelmed without a way to support themselves. Wouldn't that have been good to know going in? There would be far fewer marriages, but far better ones. Divorce sucks. Living in misery sucks. Having a contract with an expiration date is logical, especially since we're living in a world where women can be landowners. And since women can do radical things like vote and leave the house without their husband's permission, a contract between equal partners makes sense. The beauty of this is, if you can agree to terms, you can marry anyone. Gay marriage, polygamy, that goat marriage we hear so much about. Oh, actually, well, maybe not the goat thing because they really can't sign a contract. Partnerships are negotiated and done with great intent. Not the religious part. You can work that out with your church, and natural selection will sort all that out. As for me, I'm nearing the end of my 5-year contract with my husband. I plan on renewing the contract, but this time it's my turn to propose. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit nervous. Because even though I've managed to make him think that he has married way up, the truth is, I'm the lucky one. And my plan is to spend the next 5 years remembering that.